Hello brothers and sisters, this is Misha Koech, and in this video we are going to look at basic programming terms that as a student you're going to encounter either in class, in an exam, or in your day-to-day programming life. As with any subject, a definition of terms is important. In computing, it's important to understand the difference between computer hardware, software, and peopleware. Computer hardware is made up of all the tangible parts of a computer. Think of it as all the physical components like the keyboard, the mouse, and the monitor. Computer program or computer software is a set of instructions that you write to tell a computer what to do. Computer software is further subdivided into two types. You have the application software and the system software. Application software are all those programs that perform specific tasks for the user. For example, your word processing, the spreadsheet, video players, and many more. System software, on the other hand, are programs that manage the computer. For example, the operating system and the antivirus or antivirus. Peopleware are the users who utilize both the software and the hardware to perform a particular task. Alright? Most electronic machines like computers and calculators understand an instruction in terms of high and low, or 1 and 0 respectively, to represent on and off. This set of zeros and ones are called binary numbers. As you will notice later, we will write programs in a human-like language, meaning to say we use English words or we borrow words from different languages. We're using English in our case or for this tutorial series. The computer will not understand our language unless it is translated to machine language. Machine language, also known as machine code, is the most basic set of instructions that a computer can execute. Machine language is a low-level programming language, while Java is a high-level programming language. Low-level programming language corresponds closely to a computer's processor or processor's circuitry, and requires the programmer to use memory addresses for specific machines when creating commands. This means that low-level languages are difficult to use and must be customized for every type of machine on which the program runs. To make a program able to run in different machines and easy for programmers to create, a high-level programming language was created. A high-level programming language allows the programmer to use common words like read, write, add, instead of sequences of ones and zeros that perform these tasks. Additionally, programmers can use single words called variables to reserve the memory. So we will look at variables and the naming rules in the coming series. At the moment, you might be wondering, how will a high-level language like Java be understood by computer, yet we just saw that the computer understand machine language or machine code. To clear this out of your mind, I will introduce computer programs called compilers and interpreters. These two programs translate high-level language to machine code. Compiler translates the entire program before carrying out the statement or executing it, while interpreter translate one program statement at a time, executing a statement as soon as it is translated. We have seen that a high-level language has similarities to human language, but it is important to understand that there are rules of the language that must be followed. These rules, called syntax, ensure certain words are used to produce certain outputs. High-level languages have words called keywords, reserved for different purposes. For example, the word print used to produce output in Java. In English, we often follow grammatical rules to combine words to form phrases, then phrases to form sentences, then sentences to form paragraphs, and finally paragraphs to form essays. In Java, we follow its syntax to combine different variables and keywords to form what we call program statements or program commands. They are called commands because they are instructions to the computer. For example, add two items and output the result. Alright, so combining several commands makes up a program. Recall that our definition, computer program or computer software, is a set of instructions that you write to tell a computer what to do. Again, like English, when you break grammatical rules, you end up with sentences that are deemed grammatically incorrect. In programming, if you misuse keywords or syntax, you create invalid statements, and these mistakes that involve misuse of syntax or keywords are called syntax errors. The process of locating and fixing syntax errors or freeing the program from errors is called debugging. Debugging applies to correcting all syntax and logical errors. Logical errors are errors in calculation and output. For example, if the daily pay is 200, yet the program outputs 2000, the program still runs smoothly, but the output is wrong. Therefore, it's more difficult to locate the error, and such errors are called logical errors. Now, logical errors, unlike syntax errors, which are mostly identified by the compiler or interpreter, are very hard to troubleshoot and are not, will not stop the program from running. Semantic errors are errors often committed when the right programming keyword is used in the wrong context. For example, using string instead of integer or int. This far, we have discussed most of the common terms you will encounter in programming. Programming is all about problem solving. In order to solve problems, two particular approaches are used when writing computer programs. We have the procedural programming and the object-oriented programming.